capital campaign, I wanted to keep that momentum going one more time this Sunday. And I told you that the message of this ministry is like an Epicurean recipe for this wonderful, bountiful meal. And sometimes this recipe needs a little salt, needs a little vinegar. A couple of months ago, I asked a young adult, Paul Poppy, to come up here because I felt that it needed a little paprika, a little spice. Well, today, I am going to warn you that we're going to get some red hot Texas hot sauce, whatever you call it, and I would like to call Zach Maurides up here. Zach, I want to tell you, is a climber, both literally and figuratively. This man has climbed the summit of Mount Kilimanjaro, the tallest mountain in Africa. And he is a climber in the corporate world, in the, and especially, and not only with mountains, but also in the church, which is the most important summit to climb. Our life in Christ means everything. And I want this fine young man to say a few words. Now, let me tell you, this man has played NCAA football for Duke University, and so he has seen and heard pre-game speeches, fiery halftime speeches. So this is the culture he's coming from, I'm warning you. Now, and the other day I was having dinner with a few friends, and I had some ahi tuna salad. And in this salad, there's this little thing, wasabi. Is that wasabi sauce? Is that the hot stuff? I couldn't even see it because it was dark, and so I was just plunging away, and I got a mouthful of wasabi sauce, and I'm sweating, and I'm going crazy, and I'm trying to keep my cool and everything. Well, I'm just warning you, there's some wasabi sauce about to hear. So, Zach, come forward.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Let's go. All right. So, I appreciate the disclaimer that Father gave. I am an old football guy. When I talk, I tend to just default to my football days. I get fired up. And I think that's why Father asked me to speak today, because the subject we're going to talk about is one that I am really passionate about. And it is my goal this morning, above all else, to speak to you truthfully, to share the truth with you as I understand it, to bring my passion to you in a respectful manner, a manner appropriate to this church. So I appreciate the time that you're about to give me. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Zach Maurides. My wife, Melissa, who's right here up front. Raise your hand, Melissa. You can't miss our two kids, Caroline and George. They look like they just fell out of the Sound of Music. They're all as blonde as can be. We joined Holy Trinity back in January of 2021. And we're now beginning our third year as members of this parish. From the minute we walked in those doors, we have been embraced by this church family. It started with Jim Clemis, who walked up to us, shook our hands, started asking us questions, learning about us, and connecting us to other members and ministries at the church. Our children have attended the preschool. They attend the Sunday school, Greek school. Our family is active in Molo, Angels Hope and Joy, St. John's, Philoptikos, to name just a few. I say this with all sincerity. Never in my life have I felt closer, more connected, more a part of the church than I have during my 2.5 years here at Holy Trinity. That is because of all of you. That is because of the love that you have given and continue to give to our family. This parish is special. All of you are special, and we are so very grateful to be here with you. Now, Melissa and I have continued to get more and more involved in our service to the parish. Last year, Melissa joined the building committee, and this year, I was graced with the honor to serve on the parish council. Which brings me to the reason that I am up here before you today. I have news to share. Now, I've got some bad news, and I've got some great news. First, the bad news. So for those of you that have not served on the parish council, one of the first things that happens when you join, you get handed a set of keys. And you're given a tour of the facilities. And every part of every facility is explained to you in great detail. What works, what doesn't, what's been repaired, what needs to be repaired, all the little problems and the big problems. The second thing that happens is that you start to understand and get deeper into the granular financials of the church, particularly what we have spent on repairs and maintenance in the past, and what we're going to need to spend in the future. Just how much it will cost to fix those minor and major issues. And as I went through that process, there are three things that became abundantly clear to me. First, these facilities are at the end of their functional life. Period. Full stop. There is no amount of paint or new carpet that will change that. Second, the costs of maintaining these facilities are growing exponentially. Every year, the problems get bigger and more expensive to solve. Soon, it will cost more to stand still than it will to move forward. 3, our rapidly growing membership and our burgeoning ministries need more space. There are many churches that are still struggling to recover their footing from COVID. Not this church. This church hasn't just recovered from COVID, it has exploded. Our ranks and reach are growing every week with new members joining us in person and online. This church is vibrant, healthy, and growing. Which leads me to the great news. The great news is that despite the challenges of our current facilities, and actually because of them, we have incredible clarity. Clarity of action. Clarity of the path forward. There is no question what we have to do. We have to build. It is time. It is the right long-term financial decision, and the growth of this church demands it. It is that growth, the growth in our membership and our stewardship, that makes me believe we have the people and the resources to do this. The only question that remains is, do we have the will? Will we rise to the occasion collectively as a church family? You know, at the Glendy, when Father spoke, he asked us to give him a sign of our will. I believe the words that he used, he asked us to give him a sign of our favor. I don't know if you heard that. I did. Now, Father, I don't know where he is right now.
Right here.
Father, with your permission, I would like to try something to see if we can give you that sign that you asked us for. Is that all right?
Is this wasabi sauce or?
I mean, if it's wasabi, it's coming from them.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. Now, I'm going to ask some questions of the congregation, okay? They're going to be yes or no questions. It's really simple. If your answer is yes, say yes. And put the energy behind it that belongs behind it. And that is individual to everyone. You don't have to say yes if you don't feel it. But if you feel it in your belly, if you feel the fire when I ask this question, let it come out of your mouth. Okay? I'm going to start with an easy one. Is this parish strong?
Yes.
Is this parish vibrant?
Yes.
Can we rise to the occasion?
Yes.
Do we have the will?
Yes.
Can we build this church?
Yes.
Good. Now let's talk about what it's going to take. The bottom line is it's going to take financial resources to build this church. It's going to take each and every one of us making sacrifices in our personal lives to build this church. I'm going to reread the last part of today's gospel lesson because I think it is incredibly relevant to all of us in this moment. Do not lay up for yourselves treasure on earth, where moth and rust consume, and where thieves break in and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust consumes, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. That's really the question. What treasures on earth will we individually be willing to forego over the next 3 years in order to build this church? Now, we are not asking any of you to give today, but we are asking you to start, all of you, to start the process. The first step of that process is deciding that you want to participate. In front of all of you in the pews, there are some white registration cards for the capital campaign, and these are registration cards. These are not donations, these are not commitment cards, these are registration cards. And by filling out this card today, you will be doing 2 things. Number 1, you're making sure that we have your most up-to-date contact information. Number 2, you are telling us that you want to begin the process of learning about the new church that we will build, how it will impact this church family, and how you can contribute to its construction. So when you're done filling that out today as you exit, John Constantelos and myself, we will have baskets and we will collect them. Now, what will follow from here is that as you fill these out, we are going to begin sending out information, educational information, so that all of you can begin to learn about just what we're going to do. But I think we got it. I think we got the juice. I heard it today. It's here. It's online. There's folks watching that were yelling in their living rooms because they believe. One more time. Can we build this church?
Yes.
Well, then let's get started. Father?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Zach.